sir. 729, 729. We're gonna go ahead and get started, people.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's quiet the brain's chatter to reflect on what matters. Mental health is everything in a world full of actors. That's why you gotta stay woke. They won't form toxic bonds, they gotta be broke. Whether it's enemies, friends, or family folk. Wellness is the road. Love yourself and show it care. And make sure anybody else do the same and keep it there. Keep it toxic on the low. Use your throat chakra modes. Surround you with the visible to keep your head up facing north. While departing from the need to be understood, right and light, and embracing the sensation of just experiencing life. Loving and respecting, honoring, not neglecting. The process, that process,
Hey, shut it loud.
the generational trauma, the being struck by the trauma, the being the person of color in a hot pursuit in the summer. It's enough to drive you crazy, have you bouncing off the wall. Shout out to SG, mental health counselor, for answering the call. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Yo, what's good, people? We coming to you live from SG Mental Health. This your boy Christian Brown, aka Breeze, coming from the best HBCU in the world, FAMU.
It's Dan Richardson coming from FAMU, Heiser Seven Hill. Received a bachelor's at FAMU. Received my master's at Case Western University. Also a registered clinical intern social worker here in the state of Florida. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, man. Once again, this Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah.
Hey, that's important right there. Before we start, hey, follow us on Facebook, IG, YouTube, everything you got. TikTok, follow us. We got some nice things coming, some great videos. Just stay tuned. And if you younger than 18, please ask your parent. We don't need nobody backlashing, nobody in our DMs snapping. Just ask a parent. This is for a mature audience. So, Dan, today, we're going to sit down and create this safe space for everybody.
Right.
We need more male role models out there. So, the first question somebody asked us, after I put this post, man, people start blowing me up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is important right here.
Okay.
As a man, how do you take care of your mental health and emotions?
Okay, tackling that. One of the ways you do take care of your mental health, dealing with emotions, is that you first of all got to be open with who you are. Also, find somebody that you feel comfortable with, that you have already created that safe space in order to communicate and talk to them, and keep those line of communications open. Because once we bottle that stuff in, we're like a ticking bomb ready to explode. So just be open.
Hey, I like that. For me, it's keep it real, man. Be real with yourself and just be true to yourself. You ain't got to tell the whole world what you're going through.
Right.
For me, I got a big brother. He going to keep it real with me at all times. We sit down and we have that conversation. And I'm 24. You feel me? It took me a long time to get here. You feel me? Because I ain't see that. I ain't see that in the world. So this is what we doing here. So me taking care of my mental health and emotions, I sit there and be healthy. I sit there in my emotion. A lot of times we feel and we want to tell a story behind it, or we don't want to feel that pain, but you got to feel that. It's a healthy side to every emotion we feel. So if a situation happened, I feel fear, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to say, I feel fear right now. I'm going to just sit there in it. I ain't got to explain that at the moment. I ain't got to say too much, but I'm going to sit there and I'm going to feel those emotions. As a man, it's okay to feel. It's okay. We're going to feel together, man. So we got 2 questions from the fellas and then 2 questions from the ladies. And then I got some special guests I'm going to introduce. 2 special guests. And then we're going to open the board for everybody commenting. So, damn, they say as a black man, why the only emotion you should express is anger?
Okay. As a black man, why is the only emotion you should express is anger? Personally, I don't think that's the only emotion that express. I think what happened is over time is that we as men has been given this here condition that we've been taught that, you keep everything in. We as men weren't supposed to show our emotions, keep it in. We couldn't even cry at one time. So even playing football or sports, it's like, suck it up, be a man. And not really understand that it's okay to have those emotions. But it becomes a thing of a misunderstanding over time, that whereas it's considered to be weak if we do show those emotions.
Yeah. I blame the paradigm. You feel me? As children, we're not really engaged with this type of stuff, but growing up, you start off with your subconscious before you get your conscious.
Mm-hmm.
Your subconscious comes from everything around you, your parents, your peers, everything that you see, watching the news and all that stuff. So if you think about it, when we look at the news and we see a man or a black man that got in trouble or locked up, what you see? You see him over there mad. You see him looking crazy or something. And he could have graduated college, making 6 figures, successful, doing a bunch of things. So as time continue, it's like the world got this view on everybody. So even as a black man, now we see another black man that look gangster, we might feel some type of way on the inside, like, dang, I wonder if I do such and such, is Bird gonna snap on me or do something to me. But I do blame the paradigm of the world, and the way we could change that is repetition. Because through your subconscious, it cannot reject anything. It can't tell if it's make believe or if it's reality. So that's why every time we repeat something in our mind, we start to believe it, even if it's not the truth. So you sit there and ask yourself, like, why do I believe this about myself? But somebody on the outside see you in a whole different light. You feel me? So the next question, Dan, as a man in a relationship, how do you create that safe space with your lover?
So creating that safe space. So bottom line, it comes to communication. You have to create that safe haven. Don't wait until chaos is going on, and then you want to talk about how to make things better. In the good times, you want to plan to succeed. So what you want to do is set the tone and create that environment that you can talk about those things, about how do we move forward. That when you look at through history, there's never been a war that was won without a plan. I mean, we're dealing with counting the cost and everything that we do. So we got to make provisions to succeed. So it's just having that openness and that lines of communication to connect, and so you can have those guidelines to how to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Get off social media. Get off social media, man. That's their relationship. They show y'all the good side. Get off social media. I can't emphasize that enough. Because at the end of the day, you're dealing with that person. That man, that young woman, you're dealing with them. You're not dealing with your friends. You're not dealing with somebody that's famous on TikTok, Instagram.
Right,
they might give you an opinion from what they're used to. That's the reality to your world. Whatever you believe in your internal self and whatever you say with your mouth, that's the reality to your world, man. And you get your individual, whatever your preference is, and sit down with them. Ask them questions. You might get mad if I do this, but if it's the other way around, they may not get mad. You don't know. Don't make assumptions. You feel me? And when y'all come upon agreements, that's how we grow. That's how we fall in love, man. Statistically speaking, man, our marriage rate's down. Divorce rate's up, marriage rate's down. And this is the reason why, man. We got to sit down and be more in tune with each other. Even though you hurt, express that to me. Even though I'm mad, I want to snap at you for saying this, I'm not going to snap. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to breathe, and we're going to sit in our emotions. We could take a break, come back later and talk about it, but stay off social media and stop telling friends everything. If they're not healthy for you, stop telling friends everything, because once again, it's pointing to your paradigm. Next thing you know, you feel something that you don't even really feel in real life, but you feel it in that moment. And it's so temporary. That's why I'm going to snitch on this for a little bit. That's why men be cheating. When growing up, that's why we cheat. You feel me? And afterwards, a lot of us may feel bad, and some people, we may just, go across and keep on doing it. You feel me? So that's just what it is with me. Just stay off social media. Just stay out. The lady said, why is it so hard for men to be vulnerable?
Well, it's hard at times for, coming from a woman perspective, is that men a lot of times when men are trying to be vulnerable, and it depends on the situation dealing with that communication gap, they start expressing their feelings. They come of a place where it's deep for them, and it may come off as not deep enough from coming received from his partner. So if that individual is cutting that man off, of course he's going to shut down because it's going to come across him. Once again, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You don't even hear me. I'm trying to speak my mind. You ask me a question, but yet you don't want me to speak. So it goes back to that communication is creating that safe place to communicate. If you ask a person a question, give them that space to answer it. Don't cut them off. Allow them to speak, and then respect what they say.
Exactly. I'm gonna be real with you. I'll be scared. I'll be scared to be vulnerable. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'll be seeing so much things out there. I'll be like, ooh. I'll be watching Facebook. That's why I need to stay off of social media. Just like I told you, I need to stay off of myself. But as time continued, I took responsibility of my own emotions in life because nobody will do the homework for you. You feel me? So I started to tell myself, okay, I want kids, I want a family, I want to be in love and just be that healthy father that I never had. So I had to sit down with myself and just kept it real. I kept it real with everything, no matter how much it hurt. That pain turned into flowers. You feel me? So as time continued, I told myself it's okay for me to tell this woman that I'm hurt, that she said this. It's okay for me to tell this woman that I feel a joy when she do this for me. It's okay to express my emotions to this woman and let her know I want to be with you. I want to marry you. I want to have kids with you. And I feel like we could do this by doing this, this, and this. How do you feel about this? And if she don't feel the same way and she have a disagreement, that's okay. It's okay to have disagreements.
Right.
There's no reason to yell, get mad, tick for tat. You did this, so I'm gonna do this. It's the time to start practicing unconditional love. You feel me?
That's good.
So another lady said, what can I do to understand my man more? Every time he starts off, he talks well, and then he shuts down.
And then that goes back to that communication piece. You got to create that safe environment. When just based upon that particular question, if he start off by communicating, it seemed like he's being shut down again. He's not able to speak his mind. Be willing to accept that person where they're at. And then if you are in it, you in it to win it, not to belittle someone to make them feel bad or feel like you got the upper hand because you guys are in this thing together and you wanted to make it work. If that's the driving force of the relationship. So bottom line, it goes back to communication. Communication to me is the key and the secret of making it all work. That's the secret sauce in the relationship.
Mm-hmm. I agree. A lot of times, man, it's hard for men to express their emotions. We get over the stigma of mental health at school. Like, we starting to be more open about mental health. You feel me? Because we starting to see so much more out there. And as a man, just sitting down talking, it'd be kind of weird because you're not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like doing something different that you're not used to, like putting on your clothes backwards every day. You're not used to that, so you gotta adjust. So I would not take offense to it. It's like he may feel comfortable expressing bits and pieces, but I will also be aware of how I am when I'm listening. Mm-hmm. So if I switch this around, I'm listening to my girl, and if she say something, and I'm like, or I cut her off, or I say something to offend her because she said something that kind of hurted me, but she was keeping it real, then I don't expect her to continue to talk. You feel me? So just keeping it real and creating that safe space for both of y'all just to talk. But if you want to listen to him and understand him more, allow him to talk. I don't care if that dude talking for 3 hours straight. If you want him and you want to understand him more, just listen. That's all. That's everything we need. Man, the world out there, we ain't going on social media, we ain't doing all the extra stuff. We need to create that safe space. Like, hey, babe. Hey, well, shoot, this is how I really feel about these type of topics. But I'm not finna go tell such and such this or speak about this in public because they finna snap on me. They finna backlash,
And also just to add to that is add the language of we and us, instead of pointing the finger at that individual. How can we make the relationship better? How could we grow? What are some of the things that we can do together to enhance our communication? That give a person that opportunity to speak their mind. And also you find out exactly where they're at in the relationship based upon speaking, if they're going to be speaking that same language as well.
Mm-hmm. And we got some special guests. We coming to you live right now. We got a well-known rapper down in Broward County, Florida, Broad Fee. Hey, Fee, can you hear us?
Yo, what it is? I can hear you. You get me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Yes, sir. Introduce yourself to the people, man. Introduce yourself. Where you from? Where you at?
With feet coming straight out of Broward County, Florida, tapping in with my brothers, and we getting on a touchy topic right now. So whatever question I got, we willing to answer. What's up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as a man, how do you take care of your mental health and emotions? Being from like the environment down there, I know you're an artist. Just being out there, meeting different people. I know you being around certain individuals that all of us listen to. How do you maintain all that industry and all the influences?
Honestly, the way I really maintain, it's gonna sound so crazy to y'all, but I stay out the way. Like I try not to. I don't party. I don't go out. I don't do clubbing. I don't do none of that. I try to like understand. My biggest thing right now is perfecting my craft. You know what I'm saying? Like if I ain't doing nothing else, at least I know that's progress. Perfecting my craft. Me staying out the way, that really protect my energy and my health from having the wrong people around me. So like, I feel like that really play a big part in a lot of people's lives, and I don't really understand it because it come from like the background where they come from, who raised them, where they been at, like, you know what I'm saying, what they seen in the world, but all that play a big part.
Okay. The viewer said they can't hear him on our end. Can y'all hear him? Can we get some comments down below? Can y'all hear him?
Let me know if y'all can hear me. Oh yeah, Nick said you can hear me. Yeah, for sure.
You say you can't?
Yeah, he said you can.
Let's see, some having tough. You can? Okay. That might be Queen Meek. Oh, everybody on Instagram saying that.
She said she can hear me.
Oh, on Instagram. Y'all get on the Facebook and on the YouTube to hear the guest speakers we have. Y'all can only hear me from where we at right now because we have the headphones on. But he's on Facebook and YouTube. Once again, everybody follow our page, SG Mental Health CO. That's SGMentalHealthCO. And I'm gonna post this so y'all can see it on my Instagram as well.
But y'all do.
So you good.
He's again.
Yeah. They hear me.
Alright, for sure.
Okay, good. So as a man in a relationship, how do you create that safe space with your lover?
Communication. If we ain't got communication, it ain't nothing. Because we gotta know where we coming from. You know what I'm saying? If I'm speaking and I don't understand what she's saying, that's because probably I gotta try to at least understand something. Like start from somewhere. Communication start from somewhere.
Okay.
Right.
And what if she communicates something that you don't like?
I feel like, we're gonna have opinions, whatever, because me and my girl, for example, right, like she'll say some things that I take the wrong way, but at the same time, like yesterday we had a conversation, like maybe it's just the different cultures that we come from, but we gotta understand that, you know what I'm saying? Like when we have when we conversating and communicating, we gotta know we ain't come from the same background. You came from something totally different. I came from something totally different. So by me not understanding you, that's like me judging you off top and not really trying to, you know what I'm saying, figure out who you is by your character. Like it's automatically like just trying to paint this picture of who she is. But I don't know. It's just really about, understanding your partner, who you're dealing with, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, that's real.
Yeah, that's good.
That's real. I agree. Okay, so you got anything for the people before you get off? We finna sum it up right here. Yeah. We got another speaking coming.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, it's something, it's something I want to speak on real quick. It's something called the paradigm. It's something in our mind that causes emotion that a lot of people don't know about, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, where they mess up when mental health come in the aspect or the picture, they automatically forget the conscious, the subconscious, the things that we learn, what we're supposed to place in different certain situations. You know what I'm saying? People just everywhere with it. But all I can say is just keep going. And you know what I'm saying? If you got a dream, chase it. Don't let nobody else discourage you. Like, keep going. But understand who you dealing with. Understand the people around you, the company you keep, and understand what you believe in. That's all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, a special thanks, man, to Broad Fee, man. Y'all check out his music on Instagram, Broad Fee, down there in Florida, man. Hey, we appreciate you, man. Have a blessed day.
For sure.
All right, brother.
So next, once again, for my viewers on Instagram Live, look at the story and get on Facebook, YouTube at SG Mental Health CO. And once again, you know, we got another special guest, Mr. Stretch Life. You know, he finna come in and speak from a young man, just being out here successful at a young age and just hitting it real hard. You feel me? Yo, Nick, what's good? Talk to the people. Introduce yourself.
What's good? Y'all can hear me? You can hear me? I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
You can hear me? You hear me? All right,
Yes,
cool.
sir.
What's good, man? Yeah, I'm Nicholas Jonas. I am a fourth-year business administration student coming out of FAMU. I do have 2 semesters left, so I will be graduating in the spring. Hopefully, if FAMU gets my classes right. But I do own I also own a photography business. That's basically my main thing: photography, videography. And I built my business from the ground up, and you know it's been prospering ever since I came to Tallahassee. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, bet. So the same questions for you, Nick. As a man, how do you take care of your mental health and emotions?
Oh man, now me and mental health, I'm not gonna lie, we weren't the best a while ago, you know. I ain't even gonna say a while ago. Like up until I want to say at least a month or 2 months ago, me and mental health wasn't the best at all. Like I didn't have emotion. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how to think, all this and that. I was just stuck in my own ways. So like the way that mental health, the way that I learned mental health was just from reading more and all this and that. So if you can you go ahead and repeat the question one more time for me so I can better, like, you know, now that I explain how my mental health is.
Okay, as a man, how do you take care of your mental health and emotions?
Okay, so how I take care of it. The way that I take care of it is I used to just go to the gym. I used to just work out. As you can see, I got the you know the bench in the back. You know, I'm always working out and all this and that, working on myself. And that's really the main way that I would cater to my mental health. You know, say for instance, if something made me mad, if something made me sad, I would go to the gym and I just bang it out on the weights, you know, and that always it always made me feel better right after. But I found out later that isn't an effective way to actually, you know, tackle your mental health, because at the end of the day, you're just pushing the problem to the side by, you know, just trying to do something else to get your mind off of it while the problem is still there, you know. You didn't actually fix it. You just basically suppressed it for a little bit so you forget about it. And that's not healthy at all. And I learned that. So now what I do, I actually use my voice and I actually communicate, you know. So like say for instance, if somebody does something I don't like, I communicate it to them. I won't just hold it in, all this and that, you know, and it's been helping a whole lot more. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been feeling like I'm more in tune with my soul more than my body, you know, and it helps a
Mhm.
lot.
That's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep. Once again, for the viewers, go to SG Mental Health CO. I see a lot of people joining the Instagram live. I'm gonna put it down in the comment, and that's where you can hear the guest speakers at. So for the next question, as a man in a relationship, how do you create that safe space with your lover?
How do I create a safe space for my lover? Oh man. So yeah, I was not gonna lie, I was bad at that as well back in the days, man. You know, if I was bad at it with myself, of course I'm gonna be bad at it with her too, you know. But the way that I create the safe space now, we literally just talk. That's it. Like communication is literally 100% of everything. You know, I'm not even gonna say 99, 98. Communication is literally 100%. Because if you don't know, you don't know. You know,
Right.
say for instance, you could be doing something that in your head and your brain is right the whole entire time, but the whole entire time is not, because you know nobody's saying nothing. You know, and once you guys actually start talking with each other and getting to know each other on a different scale rather than just what's your favorite color, hey, what do you want to eat, all this and that, you know, you actually start thinking deeper, like, hey, how are you feeling today? What, do you think about anything like trigger you today, anything like that? Things like that. That's what you really gotta dig into when you're talking to your lover and all this and that, or else they're not gonna be able to receive your love that you think that you're giving to them. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, it's perfect in your world, but in their world, it's like he needs to do better, you know what I'm saying? All this and that. So
Right.
I like that. I like that.
right.
That's the world doing paradigm, man.
Yeah.
Just living in the world outside of the entire world. You feel me? Once again, man, I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Stretch Life, man. You got anything to tell the people?
No, not really, but I see some of these questions on the side, and I feel like I want to answer one of them. I ain't gonna lie, Can I answer one of them?
Yes, talk to him. Talk to him.
Okay, well, so Donna Kalir, if I'm saying your name right, I'm sorry if I'm not, but you asked, are there signs to look for if you think the men you know are having mental health issues? So with that one, with me, you'll be able to tell if you actually know the person, but if you don't really know the person, you won't be able to tell. So the way that I could expand on that, say for instance, you know your man to be somebody that's clean, he likes things done, all this and that perfectly, everything's right, everything's in order. And next thing you know, the next day you notice that there's trash still at the trash can. It's been there for longer than when he usually takes them out. He might take it out every 2-3 days. Now he's not taking it out until like a week or two. And that's a sign right there. You might have to ask him, hey, everything all right? Hey, what's going on? I noticed you haven't been taking out the trash like that. I'm not trying to nag you, all this and that. I just want to know, like, what's going on in your head? Like, everything okay? Like, is anything blocking you from doing this thing that you've always been doing? And all this and that. And that's a good way to look at things. And that just doesn't have to be with the trash. It can be with anything, So, and that's that. I just want to answer that question,
Okay, bet. Once again, man, I want to thank you for coming on here talking to the people. Hey, stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm finna go to the Instagram live. They can't hear the guest speakers on YouTube and Facebook, but we have Miss Diva. And she's saying, how do you communicate in a healthy way?
How do you communicate in a healthy way? One of the things you got to look at is, define what is healthy to you. Communicating, for me, I look at it as being healthy is that is the environment safe? Is that what I'm saying to this person, is it going to trigger them? Is it the right time to communicate? Because there's a such thing of communicating at the wrong time. If a person is having a frustrating day and then all of a sudden, once they hit the house, you want to communicate with that person about something, it may not be the right time. So it all comes down to creating that environment to what is safe with both parties.
Okay, I like that. Communicating in a healthy way with your man. First off, you gotta understand his love language. Understand the boundaries y'all set, and just understanding the words you use. Just being very aware. I understand, man. I'm raised by women, boy. A woman could say something that pierces your heart down the middle, have you in that thing not eating for a week straight. You feel me? So, just sit down and talk to them. And once things start getting rowdy, loud, y'all set those rules. Just like a regular classroom setting. Y'all having that conversation, set those rules. When we have a conversation, we're not finna yell. Once we yell, the conversation over with. Every time somebody yell and they want to come talk to you and they yell, just end the conversation. If it's not respectful, if it's not going to be some things you're going to like. Now, you might hear some things you're not going to like, but just create that safe space and just take it. Just take it. That's when you create that endurance. As you continue to hear the things that you don't like, then you're going to be able to start to really understand digesting those.
Right. And then to focus on solutions instead of the issues. Because a lot of us, when we start want to bring up problem conversations, we always like to stick on issues. Mm-hmm. And then that usually turning into an argument. Then let's start focus on how we can move forward from this point. Let's do better, because that's what it's all about. We're trying to build. We're not trying to continue to tear down, because it's like, hey, if we keep on putting out these fires from a previous situation, we can never build a castle.
Mm-hmm.
So let's focus on building together instead of knocking each other down all the time. And you know, and I know that that may be hard to understand in situations, but it's all about understanding. And once again, that thing I continue to say, communication. Talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Ms. Donna said, if the men in your life aren't affectionate, how do you encourage them to hug you or say words of affection?
The thing with that, I one of the things I like to encourage people to do is practice what you preach. If those are the things that you want from your mate, then I would say you ask the mate for, hey, I need a hug today. You know, when you start representing what you want, it usually spring off. It becomes natural because it's just like in the beginning of the relationship. You know, if you guys start off, you know, eventually hugging, holding hands, or not holding hands, but if you want to show that emotion with that person, hey, I enjoy holding hands. So if it's never communicated, you know, on what I like or dislike, that person would never understand. But the bottom thing is modeling that behavior that you would like to have displayed onto you.
Mm-hmm. And also, if a man is not as affectionate and you know you just seem hard, I'll sit there and try to understand, because a lot of times we go through a stage in our life as children that we have no control over. You may be born in a certain environment where you're not experiencing that love and that affection. So as you continue to grow older, you internalize that type of pain, and that's who you are. That's a part of you. So I would start things off slow. I would sit down, create that safe space once again. And if I see things being triggered, I'll take I'll take a step back and come back later when things are better, or when we having fun, or just relaxing. Hey, babe, I know that you don't really show that much affection. You know, like, do you mind if we hold sometimes, kiss sometimes? And you don't have to sit there and just do it for a long time. Starts off in small increments. Like if you want to kiss, just start off with a little pecker on the face or the forehead. You know, show them a little something. Hug them for a 0.5 second, 0.2 or something. Let it go and just allow that to build. Just allow it to build. And then I'll just tell them, like, sometimes I just need the affirmation. That's my love language, baby. If you want to be with me and that's the way I feel love, it's time for you to practice it.
But even with the same token, those will be some of the things that need to be talked about early on in the relationship. You know, don't mask who you want to become or who you truly are, because they never know. You know, like I will give an example of you know, touching someone. You know, if you starting out in this relationship, whatever kind of relationship, and the person keep hitting you on the shoulder and stuff, and you letting it go for so long, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, why you keep hitting me? You know, but internally you already get given the okay for this person to do this without even knowing it because of the lack of communication. So it goes back to that person is communicating that, hey, it's okay to do this. And by you not saying nothing, you giving me the okay to continue to do it. So it becomes a frictional thing when now you got to stop. So now it's a thing of trying to get understanding. So, you know, those type of things need to be discussed early on, and then hold people accountable for whatever they say they're going to do. And, you know, in some situations, that person may not be the design for you. And then that's another thing dealing with relationships, that whereas people have to create that safe haven, and I look at it as men, because men can they set the tone. And the thing is just being honest with that woman on where they're at. So if you're not ready for that relationship, don't create a false a false environment to get the things you want from that woman, and then now you leaving a broken home or an environment, this person broken because they've been had again by another man, and it make men look, you know, devilish. Mm-hmm. That the man is the problem. It's just sometimes that we need to just sit back and go, hey, we need to examine ourselves sometimes and don't be in a rush, and be willing to, hey, this person is not for me.
Exactly. Okay. So Miss Bryant saying, how can I speak with my spouse and he's not willing to open up and say that's just how I am?
Mm. So it all depends on, I look at the longevity of the relationship, the marriage, as well as how the communication was in the beginning. Because if say for instance, if you guys been together for quite a while, everything was fine, then all of a sudden something happened. So you almost have to go back and start retracting, where did it all start? At this point, we was having a great time, but all of a sudden something stopped. So understanding that person, and where we at, and even not even so much as just trying to figure that person out, understanding where you at in that equation too. Because in order to create that communication atmosphere, it is, the way I look at it, it goes full circle, because one may be conveying communication to a person, but the other one don't hear it. And the way it becomes effective is once it's returned back and it's understood.
Mhm. Hey, that's a mouthful right there. If I was in that position, I would just simply educate, because whatever you say and whatever you believe, that's the reality to your world. So if he's believing that, that's what you're gonna get until he start to realize and see more examples in front of him to kind of slowly like introduce something new to him. Once again, just changing and shifting your paradigm. That's the most difficult thing that we can do as a minority community, as a whole. But the best way to do that is repetition. Just constantly talk, and just express yourself. And if it's not going nowhere, I would personally look into a professional counseling, or invite some important people in our lives that he may feel comfortable open up and around. Because as guys, we open up around each other.
Mm-hmm.
You may not talk about it, we'll talk about certain things like, hey man, bro, I was mad when this happened, or this hurt my feelings and stuff like that. But yeah, I would just simply educate him. Miss Nicole, she said, does the way that you grow up have an impact on how men treat women, good or bad? And how does the woman cater to that?
I would say yes and no, because every individual is different. Some people can take bad situations and learn from it and vow to never treat someone the way they was treated. Some people will take it, and they use it as a trophy. I've known of guys who would say, well, they were male chauvinists. So what they did, they looked at how their father did, their uncles did, and how, just watching them, how they treated women. So that's how that individual treated women. And it was a trophy thing that, okay, this is how I do, because this how I was taught. Um, I'm a strong believer that behavior can change. It's if that person willing to change. And I'm also a strong believer that there is a person for everybody. Sometimes we may not be that person. And so that's pretty much my take in that.
Okay. I'm pretty much neutral about that. I'm raised by a bunch of women, so I really didn't see like how that man's influence in my life until my older brother got older. So I believe it has an impact, and it's really neutral, good and bad, because you could take either way. You feel me? It's all about the individual, and it depends on the individual that you're dealing with. So some women may look at you as a curious person. They may get very, very curious and want to get to know you more. But me personally, it impacted me. I learned how to treat women with respect, never touch a woman in an inappropriate way. And if she feels uncomfortable, just leave it alone. Simple as that. Never put my hands on a woman, never yell and snap at a woman, nothing crazy. Because think about it, if somebody did your mom or sister like that, y'all be ready to go murder someone. I know I will. So yeah, I just sit there and I just create that safe space, and I just, I don't try to hurt women. Sometimes I may be ignorant growing up and not understand at the moment, But this is the reality to my world. I may get to know you and try to date you, but if I'm telling you I don't want to be in a relationship, that's just what it's going to be until I'm ready for that. And then, you can move accordingly. But that's just the way I grew up around women. They teach you how to do certain things, cook, clean, do everything for yourself. You feel me? So if a person is not bringing nothing different to the table, that's just what it's going to be.
Then she's also said about how does a woman cater to that? I guess good or bad.
Oh, well, I guess you could just, just sit there and understand. It may be difficult, but if you love that individual, and if it's not something that's like messing you up in the long run, I'll just work through it because love is not easy. It's not easy. I'm 24 and I'm saying that. You feel me? I got to surround myself with older men as I got older just to really internalize like, what's love? How does it look to be a real man? But as a woman, I could just truly say, just try to understand that man and understand how he grew up and try to put yourself in his shoes, even if you may not understand 100%. Just attempt to, because a lot of things that men and women go through, it be so traumatic, and not everybody got the same experience. So me coming to you saying a simple sentence, you may take it the wrong way, but it all depends, like who you dealing with. But you should handle that before you get into a deep relationship, because that's where we mess up at. We deal with people for so long and we know that person not for us. And then later on we hurt, we mad at the world. We ready to say F all these N's, F all these B's, and just move on with our life and continue to hurt people.
And stay away from violence. We if that individual is violent, and definitely, protect yourself.
Miss Erica Robinson said, what do you do for your spouse that feels counseling or round table talk isn't effective in a relationship?
That is a good question. You just don't give up on that person. I've witnessed individuals dealing with counseling that the spouse, they was like iffy about receiving counseling, but when they came, they were pleased with how everything went. I think it's just providing them or making available for them to see other people, what they went through and how they made it through dealing with counseling. If you know anybody else that's dealing with that, and I think that round table discussing is good. That we learn from each other, having that environment that you got 5 couples in the room together and just having that conversation, because we learn from each other. I'm a strong believer. It's just like going into the doctor. The doctors don't know what's going on with you. They ask you what's going on with you, and you tell them. And so what they do, they'll give you medicine according to the information you provide. To me, I look at that as the same difference if you're sitting in a round table with couples. It's like, one shoe don't fit all, but there's something that you can learn from this person and that person that just might be able to help heal what you're going through. So, and then once again, I know I've said this a lot tonight, communication, everything, all types of relationship, everything we do, communication. That's the way we heal. That's the way we learn. That's the way we build.
Okay. And for that spouse that feels like it's not effective, I would ask them why. I would dig their mind all day, every day, and ask them, why do you feel like that? And I would start off slow. I'll, sit down in the living room, turn on something on TV that's similar. Some people that he or she may know, and I would just ask them questions for myself. I will watch it myself and take what I've learned. I'll go to counsel on myself and take what I learned and bring it back home and just have that conversation with them. And if they still feel like it's not effective and y'all not going nowhere, then hey, something going to have to change. That's just the truth. Something will have to change, because at the end of the day, if people not meant for each other, y'all may have to separate. But then that's when a lot of people do realize, like, I need counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes it may take for somebody else of the same sex to tell them, or somebody close to them to tell them. So I would be, I'm firm on like just being cool with the person that you're dealing with, family members. if y'all don't have a close relationship, I guess friends, well, close friends, not all friends, because all friends not good for you. But I'll just try to really understand that individual. We're gonna go back to Instagram. Ms. Diva said, "How do you know when a relationship is over?"
How do you know when a relationship is over? Well, it all depends. Um, you know, I look at that as different tiers of the relationship because, some people are still in a relationship and they actually knew it was over, a month or so ago. They just seeing how things weigh out, pros and cons. But I guess really, and for me, that is kind of challenging to answer that question because it depends on the level where the individual are at in that relationship.
Yeah, you right. I'll just look at the different stages. I would know when a relationship over with when you out there doing things that you know you shouldn't be doing. Because we're gonna find out. As a man, we're gonna know it's gonna feel different. But if becoming healthy and having that conversation and you being a healthy communicator with your spouse and they're not trying to work things out or deal with you, just ask them that question like, are we over? Because a lot of times when we do split up and try to move on, we still be thinking about that person. It is traumatic as well. And a lot of times we try to double back. But before that even happens, I would truly think to myself, like, do I really want this to be over? Or does she really want this to be over? But the way you'll know when it's fully over, like they won't talk to you no more. Everything would be different. Everything would be different.
Right. And I guess looking at it that way, but yeah, you'll see the signs. I guess I'm getting a clear picture dealing with the question. You'll see the signs, the behavior change, and you'll see it. You'll recognize it. But the thing will be, do you want to continue in this? Like I said before, most times, when you say to yourself the relationship is over with, you already knew it was over with, a week or 2 months ago or so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just getting that clarity.
Exactly. And just having that healthy conversation, you may feel like that and it may not be over, but sometimes people just need space and just some real people to pour into them. That's why I be telling people to stay off social media and stop talking to the wrong people that may influence you to do something that you know you don't need to be doing. Because once you really walk out, there's no coming back for some people. You may be lucky enough to get that second chance, but yeah, just have that conversation. Ms. Donna said, are there signs to look for if you think men are having mental health issues?
Yes. I'm gonna say yes and no. Goes back to if you know that person, you are able to detect their behavior. Like what they going outside their normal activities. They doing something different than they have done before, their normal routines. So we as men, we are routine generated. A lot of us, what we're gonna do. We're not gonna change a whole lot. So when when changes happen, you can kind of pick up like, okay, well, something is going on, whether it's good or bad. And then I say no to the point that if you don't really know a person, they can easily mask their mental health issues. And then most know they have or may have issues, and they have normalized those things, and they may be I won't call it a professional person, but dealing with women, that they used to being in those relationships, that they know how to finagle those women just to get what they want, outside of the issues that they're going through.
She said, Mr. Jonas already answered this one. Thanks again. It's Stretch Life. We're going to move on to the next question. What are some healthy ways to communicate?
Okay. Healthy ways to communicate. It's just having that conversation. Affirmations. Continue to tell a person that how much you appreciate them. Just showing that love. And communication don't necessarily have to be in form of words. It can be a form of touch. It can be a gift. It can be just every now and then, hey, just call, hey, just wanted to take you out to lunch. Just keeping that those lines open.
Yeah. I would say communicating through their love language, not being as violent, not taking up too much space if they're uncomfortable. And y'all spending that quality time together, either on dates, in person, private, public, it doesn't matter. And just have a conversation. Hey babe, how you feel today? What are some ways we can make this relationship better? If you feel like y'all need to make it better, but it's always room for improvement. And I would just continue to conversate every single day or every other day, every other week. It's what y'all choose. Between that relationship, y'all create y'all world,
Right.
y'all both step in it and y'all live in it. Nobody else. Like I said, no social media. You don't want no Facebook, living with y'all, nothing. Y'all may sit there and be entertained every now and then, but leave everything else alone. Going back to Instagram, somebody asks, how do you support someone that has mental health issues?
Well, you support them. It's like you understanding where they're at, and you helping them get through their rough time, and at the point of them understanding, or that they have those challenges. So you don't quit on a person when they are having those challenges. You just walk that line with them, let them know that we're gonna get through this together.
Mm. And hold their hand, man, and take y'all sweet time. But if it's affecting you and harming you in a physical way, mental way, always make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's really
Right.
important. Make sure you're taking care of yourself because you want to be able to pour a full cup of water into another cup. So if you don't have that full cup of water, take a step back and get yourself right and just look at everything from every possible way. Ask questions. Get professional questions. Miss Reed. Miss Reed asks, how do you know when it's time to maybe have someone committed? They are depressed, talking to themselves sometimes, not bathing, etc., but won't seek treatment, and they say they're fine.
So in a situation like that, I would get other people involved, like family members, to try to find out, our friends, to find out that they seeing the same behavior. Push come to shove, then possibly Baker acting to help this person get help. But definitely, I would start out with getting family and friends involved, just kind of probing to seeing where this person is at.
I would see what's actually happening. A lot of times we may be so caught up in our own life that we don't even recognize like the person that we love and sleeping with going through something. A lot of times we can get selfish, and a lot of times people are great at hiding things. So I would just be very aware. And if they say they're fine, I would do the same exact thing. Get people that they care about and that's close around them, and just sit there and ask them questions and get them involved, even if they don't want it. It depends how they react to what you're doing because you're showing them that you care. And I would go seek professional help. I would try to sneak it in there, just because, sometimes we may not, we don't supposed to do certain things, but love make you do a lot of things, man. But yeah, if it's a guy, I'll get one of his best friends to come sit down and talk to him. And if it's that important, I'll even pay the person to come do it. Because sometimes people be like, I'm going through my own thing. I don't really care, you know? And we had a question. Somebody asked, how can relationships with your parents affect your relationships in the future?
Well, it can affect it. It depends on what kind of stronghold your parents have on you as an individual. If they are controlling your life and have controlled your life, throughout the history of relationships, Yeah, it'll be a time that you have to ask yourself, mom, dad, um, enough is enough. There's nothing wrong with listening to them, but you know, putting into action the advice that they give may not be the best fit for you.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it can be detrimental in that environment, especially when your life is about you and that person. Advice is advice, but parents can't. They can influence who their children love or get involved in, but and there's nothing wrong with them, saying their piece.
Mhm.
But once the child allow their parents to control every step of, all of the feelings and emotions, then it can be a problem or a future issue.
Exactly. Create those healthy boundaries.
Hmm.
I know a lot of times when we want to talk to our parents, whoever your guardian is, the way we should, because we feel like we're gonna get slapped, punched or something. But create that healthy boundary, like sit down and talk to them. And if it doesn't go well, sometimes you may have to go outside of your parents and just get help to be able to pursue that, because a lot of times your parents can affect you, and next thing you know, you're trying to love on somebody and this all you know. But that's not an excuse at the end of the day, because people, it could be a great reason, but out here in the world everything is an excuse, and that's just the reality of things, and we just have to digest it. We have another question: how suffering in silence can affect you and those around you?
It can be detrimental, because we don't know what's going on unless you talk about it. It can be detrimental. So when you recognize a person is suffering in silence, do what you can to get involved. It goes back to their family members, friends, because sometimes it depends on how well you know that person. It's going to be obvious.
Mhm.
It's going to be obvious, and that silence it speaks loud, especially when you know that person. So talk to that person, talk to the family members, and then really talk to that family member that have a real close connection with that person, because that's, to me, that'll be your strongest ally to help them go seek help.
Mhm. And also, you will recognize patterns and it'll just hit you, because even that person, they'll know. But a lot of times, maybe we go through things and we just ignore it. We ignore everything and suffering in silence, man. One day you're just gonna eventually blow up, and it's not really gonna be the same anymore. It's okay to speak. It's okay to talk. That's why we create a safe space. We want to have that conversation. So if any viewers on here share this, make sure y'all share this. But any viewers on here suffering in silence, hit us up. We got our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everything. Hit us up, man. It's okay to open up. It's okay to talk, because at the end of the day, you're not the only one going through what you're going through.
Right.
It's help out here, and it's okay to seek help. A lot of times you may internalize and repeat to yourself, man, I feel like I'm the only one going through this, because you're on social media looking, or you just feeling like you're in your own little world. You created that false conscience and you stuck in it. But yeah, we got our information up. Hit us up. Let's talk about it. Somebody asked, how generational trauma affects future parenting styles.
Say that again.
How generational trauma can affect future parenting styles.
Mm. It's that learned behavior, and it becomes, it's learned behavior, it's conditional, and it'll affect the way we raise our kids, or can affect the way we raise our kids. So it's a 50-50 chance. Like I think I said earlier, is that we will end up doing things sometimes because this is the way they saw this person did, and so I did, my parents did me like this. This is what I did. I'll give you an example. Dealing with rearing kids. One of the things dealing with rearing kids is when you having those environments that this parent was raised this way, that this parent was raised that way. One was raised getting spanking, one wasn't. And then you having this commotion on, well, my parents did this and I got whippings and this ain't happened to me. So the whole thing is getting that understanding is that put your past behind dealing with raising your own household, because your past don't have to, and I say it that way, it doesn't have to dictate your present. It doesn't have to. Because we're going to take from our past, learn from our past, and take the good and the bad. And we generate what we want for our future based upon the behaviors that we have experienced.
Mm-hmm. And those are great reasons to continue in that same parenting that you're used to. But a lot of times you just got to tell yourself and just be real and grow up. Like growing up, all of us, I'm pretty sure this generation different that's coming up. Man, everybody used to get woodwinds. Go pick that branch off the tree. Mm-hmm. Go get the big one. Go get the big one. So eventually, a lot of times, man, things happen so traumatic that we don't want that for our children in the future. But when things happen, we still act out on that way. So I would just say, man, just be very encouraging to yourself and just be very aware. Just be very aware. But once again, I thank everybody for coming. It's Christian Brown,
Dan Richardson.
And that's another episode of Let's Talk About It. You feel me? Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram at SG Mental Health CO. It's right here. SGMentalHealthCO. You feel me? So let's talk about it, man. Feel free to DM and comment.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Mental health. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Let's keep talking. We're talking about it.
Yes, sir.